I shall read out these questions which are all similar to each other. What is karma? What is the relationship between the pursuit of dharma and karma? How can one control one's karma? Then there is similar question from Jivatma. These questions were from one. Now Jivatma has also some similar questions. What is the difference between destiny and karma? Then there is another question. When you die, is the soul bound to take a new body right away? Can a human being take an animal form after death? Then there is similar question from Jivatma. Why do we do things even though something in us suggests it is not necessary? Yet we justify it to ourselves that we all have to go through such things. What does this mean? We also sometimes say, anyway, I will go through what I have to go through. Can will intervene and change things? Sometimes when you do something, you have a feeling you should not do it. How can you know if this feeling comes from fear or is it a good advice? Then from Anandmayi there is a question. It is about the problem of rebirth. How much of who we are in this life can be carried on into the next? Mother speaks sometimes of a being partially placed in the life of different historical personalities. What does that mean? These are all similar questions. Maybe that we shall be able to do only these questions this time, and other very important and very interesting questions have to be left out for my next visit, which may happen quite soon. First the question, what is karma? This is the question which is raised by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. I think once I shall be doing Bhagavad Gita with you, and we shall come to this question in a very special way. But Sri Krishna raises this question himself, what is karma? And he says that this question has perplexed even the wisest people. It is the knottiest problem. Then he says, what is karma? What is akarma? Akarma is the absence of karma, or we shall see what akarma means. And what is vikarma? There are three terms. What is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma? All the three are Sanskrit words. Roughly the translation of these three words are, karma means action, akarma means absence of action, and vikarma means perverse action, wrong action. And this question is once again answered by Sri Krishna in a statement which is very often missed when you read the Bhagavad Gita. It is such a long statement that sometimes some important statements are missed. There is first dynamism. And since karma means action, we might say that all dynamism is karma. All movement, all manifestation, all drive of energy may be regarded as karma. But Sri Krishna makes a distinction between mere dynamism and karma. All dynamism is not karma. Karma is something specially connected with dynamism in the individual. Even the individual formation, each one of us is an individual, and each one of us has been a result of dynamism and has dynamism within himself or herself. So all dynamism that is not issuing from the individual can simply be distinguished as manifestation. Anything that manifests is dynamism. But karma is something that manifests through the individual. All karma is basically in context with an individual. Last time I spoke to you of a contract between ourselves and the divine. It's a kind of a childish story I made out, but it is more than childish. There is something like a contract, an agreement we have made with the divine. And each one of us has promised the divine, I shall do this. As I told you, each one of us is like an architect and a mason. The purpose of this world is to create a temple of the divine on the earth, a physical temple on the earth. That is the purpose. We are all builders, we are all architects, you might say, architects and builders of this great temple. I said, just as we have made Matri Mandir here, and there is a need of an architect and engineers and masons and so on, this is a symbolic temple. But basically we are here to build a huge temple on this earth. The entire life of humanity is to be like a life of a temple. And each one of us has a small portion to play in the building of this temple. Now each one of us has promised, I shall do this portion. As a result of this, each one of us will manifest dynamism with a particular formation which is unique to himself. This unique formation issuing from each individual according to the role that he has to play in the totality is karma. It's an action, it manifests itself in action towards which we have an automatic leaning. This karma is therefore supposed to be a manifestation of swabhava, This is another term in Sanskrit, swabhava. Swabhava is becoming of oneself. What you are, potentially, essentially, eternally, that you go on manifesting in an individual manner according to the plan of the whole and according to what you are specially going to contribute in the world, that is karma. What you manifest because you are, as it were, filled with your own becoming, which is specific becoming of yourself. That is why in this world, no individual is like another individual. There are similarities because of our universality. And yet every individual is unique. Every individual is different from the other, because each one's function is specific to himself. You don't need to be different. You are different as far as your function is concerned. You are like others because you are at the same time a portion of universality. Therefore, that gives you sameness as others. If you know this relationship between sameness and uniqueness, then many of our ignorant movements will change. How many individuals simply want to assert that they are different? They spend years and years only to proving, I am different from others. He need not spend so many years in proving that. It is automatic, whether you like it or not. You have a role which is unique to yourself. I had a friend in my boyhood who used to say, look, I want to look different from others. And I used to be very impressed at that time that he has an idea of becoming quite different from the others. And whatever he was doing, he said, oh, somebody else is doing it. So he ultimately found that if he could comb his hair in a particular way, which nobody is doing, then he will be quite different. So that was his way of expressing that he is quite different from others. And when he came with a new kind of hairstyle, he asked me, don't you think now I'm quite different from others? And I had to agree with him.